Welcome to In the Moment with Kortia, where we inform, inspire, and motivate you to be a positive agent of change. Guess what, family? It's Fire It Up Friday! All right. We made it, and we carried the spark all the way over to the weekend. Hey, I know you've been motivated, I know you've been invigorated, and I know you're ready to just go forward with it. Hey, I want to say good morning to Central Louisiana and the surrounding areas. That's Natchitoches, Gina, Alexandria at 88.1 FM. Monroe, West Monroe on 98.9 FM. Shreveport, Greenwood on 92.5 FM. St. Joseph, Natchez, Mississippi on 99.3 FM. And Lake Charles on 100.1 FM. And for all of you out there that's under the sound of my voice that want to call into the radio stations with your question or comments, you can hit us up on a local number at 318-484-2500 or toll free at 877-464-2500. And remember, we're all across social media at In the Moment with Kortia Kuzan, or visit our website at inthemomentwithkortiakuzan.com. And also we have in the house today this spectacular, blinding my vision with her presence of her beauty, my wife, my blessing, my queen, Jennifer Kuzan.
Well, good morning, everybody. We can see Kortia is in a wonderful mood this morning.
Woo, woo.
Happy Friday.
Oh, happy Friday, Fire It Up Friday. Look, we're going to get it cranked up right now before you even get to that pot of coffee. You're going to be ready to go. All right. And look, today we're going to be jumping in and capping off this week. We're going to be talking about, some powerful habits that'll make you become what? A better version of yourself. Some powerful habits to make you a better version of yourself.
I can't wait to hear these.
Oh, yeah. And I know there's some of you right now, hey, how can I get any better than I possibly am right now? Oh, let me tell you something. There's always room for improvement. And no matter what area of your life, there is always a little room for improvement. Because you know something? When we get to that point in our lives, we think that, hey, I have, arrived, as some people would actually say. Then, that's where we start to limit, or should I say we really do limit God and anything that he can do in our lives, because what? We shut ourselves off. We basically, we stop having a teachable spirit.
That's right.
So God will be able to, show us different things that actually cause us to grow internally and to progress us externally, okay? So, talking about some powerful habits that'll help you to become the best version of yourself. And, one of the main things I would say, and I like it at the top of my list that I have here,
what you got?
Great research done by, like I said, Jennifer Kuzan, that it came up to be where, giving that nice fist pump in the air, there you go, girl, to where when you get up each and every morning, all right, each and every day, I don't care if it's Monday through Sunday, however you do it, but get up each and every day, and, if you haven't already written it down, have a list. All right, and I'm not talking about a laundry list of things to just accomplish. I'm talking about, the three most important things that you actually want to accomplish for that day. All right, that's going to actually cause you to make the largest impact, for your day. I mean, and it's actually going to help you to, take that next step closer to where you see God is actually leading you. Now, I know some of you might be saying, well, I'm not at that level yet to just sequence different things to help me to get on my path. Well, look, you got to start somewhere. I mean, make a list. Hey, I'm going to do laundry today. Hey, I may not be in the gym just yet, but maybe I can actually walk around my yard about 2 or 3 times. I mean, something. Let's make a list, all right? We've got to have some to-do things that actually, let us know that our so-called goals are achievable, okay? And you have to start small. Yeah, at times you have to start small, but the key is that you have to start, okay?
So, Court, what are your top 3 things to do today?
Oh, look.
Did you make your list already?
Look, I keep mine more so in a mental list, okay? This is my mental list.
That's not what that says.
Well, look, I do what I do because I got to do what I do because when I do what I do, it gets did.
Oh, gosh. I wonder who you sound like now.
Oh, look, that's something from way back there in the day. But look, I got going to be working on, what can I say? My main mental to-do list is going to be working on the book. going to be restructuring some things on one of the websites that we actually have up. And then, of course, the final thing is going to be, hey, I'm going to actually be spending some.
Hey, I think that's coming to that final point down there at the bottom of your list.
The final point of my list. Hey, don't be jumping ahead of the
Well,
list.
no, you mentioned it, so I just thought about that.
Look, the things that we have.
You said restructuring.
Yeah, restructuring.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the thing is just like I've said before, that when you actually get to that point, you're going to find out. Well, let me put it to you this way. Someone actually train someone up as this, okay? In business, you actually have a phrase, a theme phrase or a catchphrase as you see as far as like in movies. Now, think about this for a moment. It goes along with what we talk about, okay? Now, think about this as far as like when you introduce yourself to someone, all right? Now, say like for whatever reason, I don't know, just throw up a topic of business. I'm just going to use me, the area of relationships and everything, and that somebody else may have all of these other different degrees and these qualifications, and they may have been seen on national television, and then somebody will say, okay, well, what do you do? Well, when normally someone gets asked what do, what do they answer? Pretty much whatever they're doing for their job, okay?
Usually I look at them with a blank stare.
You look at them with a blank stare. Well, all right. And look, a lot of people do that. But, I actually train people and show people how to utilize what you're doing, but put it in a way to where it just grabs hold of people and it just draws them in. And it's the same thing as like for your personal life. I mean, because some people ask me, well, what do you do? And then, of course, they expect, to say working as whatever my profession is, coach, whatever. I said,
well, that's where your whole laundry list comes in.
Oh, yeah. So, it's basically like I said, I take, marriages from a point of being on a point of failure to on a point of thriving, and take businesses from bankruptcy to double-digit increase using biblical principles. And they actually look at me like,
how you do that?
And then they're like, then they start asking questions, and then well, guess what? You wouldn't realize how that actually draws people in to where you start getting more clients and more people want to know what you know. And, if you haven't realized from the show, we're all about instilling and sowing seeds in people to help them to get to the next level, to help them to be that positive agent of change. So, go ahead. You got that look like you ready to go ahead and ask me a question or say something. Nothing?
No, nothing.
But, like I said, it goes back to what I was saying about having that list of things to actually accomplish when you want to start your day out. Those 3 important things that are going to make that impact or whatever on your life, okay, that are really going to just say, hey, you get those 3 things accomplished in a day. Not only is it going to give you, that feeling of, like I've done something in a day. It's going to take certain stresses off, but it's actually going to show you that you are able to, go forward, have some forward momentum in your life. It's actually going to show you that you are able to capitalize on the moments that God is actually giving you. And one of the biggest things with that, and I would have to say this is something that we probably all battle with every single day, don't sweat the small stuff. I mean, really, that's a really, really big thing.
Yes, it is.
Not sweating the small stuff.
Not letting little things get to you.
And it is.
Don't sweat the small stuff.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Thermonuclear reactions. I mean, no matter what it is, you just can't sweat the small stuff. Oh, wow. But look, when we come back from break, we're definitely going to get back up into this, talking about some powerful habits that'll help you to become the best version of yourself. Family, stay in your moment. Welcome back to In the Moment with Kortia Kuzan on this Fire It Up Friday. Hey, we're talking about some powerful habits that'll help you to become what? The best version of yourself. I'm going to say that again. The best version of yourself. Not your family member, not your coworker, not your friend, not someone that you see on television, not someone that you read in a book, okay? Not who someone suggests you should be, but the best version of yourself. So look, before we went to break, we were talking about don't sweat the small stuff. And what really jumps out about that is that we get so caught up on a daily basis, okay? So many of us to where we focus so much on the small stuff and the small little incremental things. I mean, it could be, and let me use this example, okay? Like for a guy, okay? For us guys, when you're out there, you wash your car, all right? And you want to detail it and you want to do all of these things. I mean, I've seen some guys get so into washing their cars, they've got a toothbrush going between the rims and trying to scrub off like the brake pads and everything of that sort. Now, you might say, well, I don't see anything wrong with that. But how is that impactful on your time as far as like for you being productive for the rest of the day? All right. Now, myself personally, I'm going to go ahead, pay my little $5 to $12, whatever it is, go to one of these instant car washes. And my wife's like, yeah. And then go ahead and hit that vacuum and what? I'm done. Maybe an hour max or something, depending upon what I'm doing, I'm done. I'm not spending 2, 3, whatever hours doing it. Because why? There should be some other things in your life that are going to actually take some priority to actually help you to get where God is calling you. And a lot of times we put importance on things that are really small in our life that aren't really making an impact on our life. I mean, if it's not contributing to the like big overall picture, okay, just like I said before, if God's giving you a vision and you've got this picture in your mind, all right, and the things that you do during a certain amount of day, and look, I'm guilty of this as well, all right, and if the things you do during a given day don't contribute to, putting that puzzle piece to make that picture come like into full view, you shouldn't be doing it. You really shouldn't be doing it because, you might say, well, I know it may not be, but, I just like doing this just because it makes me feel good. And, something that's okay. Keep doing what makes you feel good. But, if you keep doing what makes you feel good, you're not going to be able to keep doing those things that are going to cause you to be successful in every area of your life, okay? And God wants you to have a full life, the fullness of life, okay? He don't want you to continue to have these feel-good feelings that just keep you stuck, in a season to where it never catapults you into the fullness of the moment that he's already established for you, all right? So don't sweat the small stuff. And this is going to be something that will be really challenging for an individual, and this was a really, really, really big obstacle for me in the beginning. What about trying to learn? No, let me rephrase that. Learn one new thing a day. Don't try, but learn one new thing a day. And you might be like, well, how do you, man, I don't have time to do that. Don't you realize how much time I work? I mean, don't you realize I don't have that free time when I'm at home? I mean, we've got church, we've got all these different things. Kids have events, got to get into the gym, blah, 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 blah. All of these different things we put up. But I've said before, you hear so many people talk about it. How do you utilize your time as you're driving to work or driving to appointments, driving back from those? How are you actually utilizing that time? I mean, are you actually getting some type of training to where you're listening to a message that's actually changing your life? Are you possibly, I don't know, maybe you're in school online and you're trying to figure out how to squeeze in time. Well, with vehicles and everything now, when I was in college, you had a lot of CD, DVD training, but the thing is that you could actually now put some of those things in your cars to actually listen to the lessons and whatnot. There are different ways to actually utilize your time, but it's just about you actually being creative about it.
Exactly.
And, a lot of us, we get into the mode so much to where, we keep saying we don't have time. And, I used to be one of those individuals, and I know my wife. She.
Oh, for real, yeah. Man, guilty. I can just say guilty.
But, I always looked at other individuals, and some of you probably, are listening right now. You might say, wow, we've said we get up like 3:15 every day, okay, as far as like for the radio show. We come, we prepare, we do all of these different things. And a lot of people right now that I speak to, they're like, wow, I don't see how you're making it. You must be totally just tired, ready to fall out. And I tell most people by the time 10 a.m. gets here, we've probably accomplished more things that some people probably do in a full day, if not 2 days. But what's really significant about it, what are we doing? We're taking the opportunity to say that we're doing it on purpose, okay? We're intentional about what we do. We're making sure that we actually do what's going to impact the fullness of the day, okay? We're not just there talking about, okay, well, what are we going to do? Don't have a plan, don't know anything about what we're going to do. We're intentional about our day. But through that, we're actually growing our skills each and every day. Okay, we're being mentored each and every day. What is it that you're doing on a daily basis to improve yourself, to learn that new skill? I mean, it's something to say you want to be more, but are you doing the things necessary to be more? Because what's the thing that I used to hear a lot of times? You know, you can say what you want to say, but, you know, it's going to come time where you got to stop getting into that mode of just having lip service, as they say, instead of, you know, and get to put some action with it. So, you know, learn that one new thing every day. And, you know, watch a thought leader, okay? And you might say, well, what does that mean? Well, you know, as far as like watching a thought leader, my big thing, and I've shared this with you, every single day. I may not actually watch it with my eyes, but I'll have like a headset on, plugged into my phone, and I'm receiving some type of training for people that have paved the way to a certain extent of, you know, where I want to go as far as like through YouTube or, you know, some type of specific podcast that I'm there. I'm always growing myself up with something every single day.
Right.
And what you need to do is like enrich yourself. I mean, just like we feed our physical bodies food, okay? And, you know, we hear when we go in church about, you know, feeding our spiritual self, or feeding our spiritual man so you can be strong spiritually. But, yeah, that's the case. But you also need to take care of feeding like your soul, meaning like your area where you got your emotions, your knowledge base and everything. Because, you know, if one's waning, something's going to happen to where something that is going to be like off balance to where, you know, whatever area of your life that's not being fed, well, it's going to have to try to draw nutrition from somewhere. Okay, you're going to have this like overcompensation. Something's going to get you out of whack, in other words. Okay, so you need to actually feed yourself with what's necessary to actually grow you up as far as like in a mental state. Now, you can have certain friends or gurus or out there that you can actually pull from. I mean, that's like yesterday while we talked about having a circle of friends to where when you have this close-knit group of friends to where they always have someone that can actually stretch you.
That's right.
I mean, that really knows more in a certain area of expertise than you do. I mean, like as far as like
they're going to challenge you to think larger than what you're already thinking.
Exactly. I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer, like as far as like with my wife and I, when it comes to where she just wants some like really whacked out type ideal that's just out of the realm of things, she'll usually ask me, you know, some out the box thinking. Now, if I really want to know something as far as like in a realm that's dealing with a lot of pinpoint finance things, organizational things, structured type of things, you know, I'm going to ask her. I mean, there's some things that we really don't have to go ahead and try to get 100% knowledge on when God has put like that access or that knowledge base right there,
he
you know,
put those
with
gifts
us.
in somebody else.
Exactly. I mean, you can be knowledgeable in some things, but what? You don't have to have mastery over all things, okay? If God has actually put you in the presence of people that can actually help, you know, increase your life in some type of way, utilize that, okay? Utilize that. And some people get so bogged down with not utilizing what God has actually placed right there in front of them that they get stagnant, they get frustrated. I mean, they all type of aggravation, and they just want to get to that point of like, well, I just want to throw up hands. You know, this is just too hard. It's too much I have to go ahead through. But, you know, and you actually being able to get what you need, okay? Think about this for a moment. All right, you've got the Sin-La Spiritual Hour, all right, that starts first thing in the morning. You've got that as far as like spiritual things that are needed, okay? And then you're listening to us right now on In the Moment with Kortia Kuzan, all right? That's definitely helping like your soul self, giving you knowledge, giving you training, helping you with different skills, showing you in which direction that you need to go in. And then, of course, you have that to come up and wrap up with, you know, On Point Talk with Carlette Christmas, which is also on television and, of course, radio to actually help round everything out for you. I mean, it is a great way between these three shows, okay, to actually supplement, you know, your learning curve. So there really is no excuse why your day cannot start off at a maximum level, all right, for you to be able to be what? The best version of yourself, okay? There really is no excuse. God has situated these things. I mean, he's used the On Point Talk family to actually get you, fast track you, let me put it that way, fast track you to where he wants you to go. To where you can't say, I don't have the time, to where you can be brushing your teeth, you know, you can be driving your car, you can be at the job, or wherever you are at, working out, whatever you're doing, you have access to to these different resources that are actually going to increase you. But it's what? It's a decision. It's a decision that we, each and every one of us, have to make and say, hey, it's right there. Am I going to take full use of it, or am I going to just sit there and make excuses? And, we keep going back to about this year of this great harvest year. This year that's supposed to be, has been destined by the Lord to really just change each and every one of us. So, look, we're about to go ahead in and take this break. And, look, I know you're in your moment right now. You're gleaming and you're growing from this. So, look, stay tuned and we'll be right back. Welcome back to In the Moment with Kortia Kuzan on this Fire It Up Friday. And we're talking about powerful habits that will help you become the best version of yourself. And we're going to put a neon sign or a spotlight on that last portion. Best version of yourself. Family, I tell you what, look, we have to get a little focused as far as like sometimes the way that we can actually help someone, the way that we can actually be that definite positive agent of change is to work on ourselves, to be the best version of who God has called us to be. Because in doing that, I mean, so many different doors will be open in your life. You're walking in so many different blessings, so many different resources, so many different connections that you'll actually make. And I mean, it just totally just blows your mind at when you really are becoming that best version of yourself, and how God just really, when you think sometimes you want to self-promote, and how you just step back and let God promote you, wow, he just blows your mind each and every time with that. So definitely before we went to the break, we were talking about, how to grow up being a watch a thought leader, listening to the programs. And like right now, for all of you that are actually listening, I mean, you've taken that step. Okay, for all of you that have been faithful listeners, you've actually taken that step. You're listening to the radio broadcast, okay? And I know a lot of you are following us over social media as well. I see the likes and the comments and different things that are going on. But the thing is that you've taken this as a first step. So all I'm just going to suggest is just keep it, make that momentum, or keep that momentum going forward, okay? Don't just stop with us. And we thank you for tuning in with us, but don't just stop with us. We've always told you about the Sin-Law Spiritual Hour, On Point Talk with Carl at Christmas, but don't just stop. Keep it going through the course of the day. And a lot of us, and I'm sure my wife, she'll definitely say about this a lot of times, and we got bogged down when it comes to our professional side, It's how we try to prioritize as being this great, huge thing. We've got to get it done. And, answering like different emails and different things that come in. As far as we do it, I'll try to do it all individually.
Information overload.
Oh, yeah. Very good. I like how you said that. Information overload. And, a suggestion is that you may want to actually, batch your emails. And what I mean by batch is that setting it up to where you're not having like all of these individual emails, but at, certain time frames, you'll get this like batch of like 20, 30 that you can actually just go through at certain time frames during the day. And it'll help you go forward with that feeling that, hey, you've accomplished something, that you're moving forward. You're not going to look at your like inbox where you've got like 200 something emails and, I'll just take care of them tomorrow. Well, tomorrow comes, you've got another 200 plus emails that go along with those emails, and you really just get overwhelmed, by that. But, actually taking that time to actually help you to alleviate, some of those professional pressures. And, you may be someone that's, I don't know, what do they call it, a social butterfly or something. You may have people contacting you in your personal email in that regard. But, that's just a tidbit and suggestion to actually help in that area. Now, thinking about yourself, okay, your physical man, okay, it's one thing to aspire spiritually. It's one thing to aspire professionally, financially, emotionally, all those different things. But it seems like it just keeps coming out over and over. What good is it if you're doing all of these things that God has called you to do when your body is just like broke down, okay? And I know that some people have different conditions and things that are out there, but look, even if you've got something that's going on with your body, I mean, proper nutrition will help you to become the best version of yourself.
Yes, it will.
I mean, there's some, I don't even want to classify them as, I don't know, diets. I'm going to just say diets, okay? They have certain diets or whatever out there, and I've read up in different things that people are doing, and it just like, where did they come up with this stuff, okay? And did you ever think that easy way how a lot of people say, well, I don't have time for breakfast in the morning, okay? And that's really, it truly is the most important part of the day, the breakfast. But have you ever thought about getting together, I don't know, like some type of a smoothie, a green smoothie, okay? And, until my wife actually made it, when I saw for the first time, she put like spinach leaves in something, and then she did something like pineapple, and she did something. I was just like, I'm not going to drink.
Strawberries.
Yeah,
and
it was just like
bananas.
all kind of stuff. And I was just like, there's no way that's going to taste good together. But when I tried it, when I actually tried it, I was like,
he had to eat his words.
Literally had to eat my words, and I was like the little orphan Oliver. Is there any more? So you never know, what you're gonna like until you actually try it. All right, and I'm talking about in a good sense. I'm putting the devil on notice right now. I'm talking about in a good sense. Okay, so you never know exactly what it is that you're going to like until you actually try it. And then especially when it comes from, the benefits or whatever of the body. And, we found out just in this last fast that we had for the church, when we cut out all those carbohydrates for what was it, like 3 weeks and stuff, how good we actually felt. Look, I'm here to tell you, during that 3 weeks, I lost 12 pounds. I was just like, what?
There you go.
Yes, 12 pounds, yes. I'm going to speak, and I was very happy about that.
Yes, indeed.
So it's just like little tweaks that actually happen. And to actually get your body to start functioning the way it needs to be. And that's, like I said, all a part of becoming the best version of yourself.
Yes.
Cutting out the soft drinks, that you have, cutting out all of the candy and everything. It's not anything that's major that can, it's minor things that you can cut out that can have major results, okay?
And you don't have to do it all at one time.
Right.
You can just take one thing at a time and take it away. So, I'm not going to take away coffee, but I took you can just take away soft drinks, or you could take away 1 or 2 a day instead of, 3 to 5 a day.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's just little things you can do instead of having that big heavy breakfast. Have a smoothie instead. Mm-hmm. Or if you're used to only having coffee in the morning, like I'm guilty of, you can have the coffee and a smoothie, and that way you're not having to sit and eat a meal. Mm-hmm. But you're still getting a meal.
Exactly. And and definitely, like I said, having that proper nutrition is about being the best version of yourself. But also with that, okay, you're fueling your body. Now you're going to have to do something with that fuel that you're putting in your body. And you've heard us talk about how we we leave the radio station, and look, we leave the radio station and we go right to the gym. Okay, because what? It doesn't do any good, like I said, to actually start increasing in certain other areas and you let your physical self just like dwindle and go down.
That's right.
So, we go to the gym to maintain our physical selves because what? We put physical demands and pressures. And a lot of us say, well, I'm only at a desk, but I just have a lot of mental things. If you were being honest with yourself, the mental stress will impact your physical self more than the actual stress. Oh, yes. It will definitely cause a lot of things to happen in your body. But that's why
you may have to do a show about that just to explain the pressures of stress on the body.
Oh, wow. Something, that's a really good thing, the pressures of stress that you'd actually have on your body. And like she said, we're probably going to do a show or whatever on that because we can give some really big personal examples on that, and then we can give examples that we've helped people with and that others have shared with us. And I'm talking, wow, stress, when you hear stress is a killer, yeah, that's pretty much an understatement to just say that.
It sure is.
Yeah. So, definitely working out. And look, something that's actually going to really benefit some of you, instead of actually looking at what you do as so small during the course of a day, practice gratitude. And what do I mean by gratitude? I'm not just saying when someone does something for you to say thank you, which is great, and you should do that. But why don't you just say that a boy or that a girl to yourself, okay? Why don't you actually celebrate whatever you've accomplished in that given day? You may think it's something small, okay? You may have gotten up and done what you think is just a normal routine, but celebrate that. Really. Celebrate those different things. Celebrate that maybe you just decided, hey, you know something? I was listening to Court and Jennifer, and I'm over here by the river. I'm gonna just take a walk really quick on the side of the river. I've never done this before. Let me just do that. Celebrate that you've done that. It's a great accomplishment, okay? It helps you to realize that it doesn't take a lot to actually keep you in that moment, to actually accelerate you in that moment that God has called you to be in. Look, when we come back from break, look, we're going to wrap this up, but remember, you're in your moment right now to be the best version of yourself. Welcome back to In the Moment with Kortia Kuzan on this Fire It Up Friday. Look, yet again, we're talking about powerful habits that will help you become the best version of yourself. And look, before we went into break, we were definitely talking about practicing gratitude. And like I said, practice gratitude when it actually comes to yourself, okay? Congratulate yourself on things that you've actually accomplished in a given day. I mean, God may have put in your spirit to just go ahead and something swells up on the inside of you and you're walking out in your yard and you just break out in a song of praise. And it's something that you didn't plan. It's something that you may not have expected. But guess what? Because you took that moment out of your day to just go ahead and give shout and praise unto the Lord, why don't you put that in a win column and say, hey, I'll take that as something that's going to go ahead and glorify God. See, we have to look at those things that we just think are commonplace or just look at them as little in our lives and take those things, because those are the little nuggets, as you want to say, that actually help us to go forward. It actually motivates us to actually do more. So look, practice gratitude. And look, you're really going to like this. Build yourself a feel-good crew. I mean, what is that? Those people, all right, that you're going to want, whether they're family, friends, that actually, lift you up, that actually inspire you to be the best possible version of who you possibly can be. Now, I would actually say that most of them, how can I say, besides we talked about our friend Bert on yesterday, and how he was, a real encourager and basically saying, all of these different things, and the rapport that we built, I never forget that, as long as I'm on this earth. But a lot of the different versions of some people that I've had that actually tried to instill the best in me was I would have to say when I was in the junior high, okay, some of the teachers that I had. And why would I say junior high? Because when I was going to school, since my mom was a teacher, it was back in those rules days to where, kids got disciplined and everything in school, but a lot of the teachers knew my mom, so I was kind of under the rules, like if they were family members, and they would always talk to me like I was a definite family member instead of like a student. And so, they were always trying to tell me when I got to the point of, well, I don't know how to do this. I'm not able to figure this out. And that's where that started for me. I'm not saying that, that CAN''T. They were like, that's something you should get out of your vocabulary, as they used to say. Okay. You can do everything that you set your mind to. I remember hearing that like all the time. You can do that, anything that you set your mind to. And that's for some of you right now in this moment. You can accomplish anything that you set your mind to. But here it comes again. It's going to require work.
Uh-oh.
It's going to require work.
Dirty four-letter word.
Ooh. Say it again. Work.
Oh, he went to the Lion King.
But it will require some effort, some work on your part. And definitely when it comes to building your feel-good crew of how people will motivate you and you'll motivate them, it's something that you really are going to have to be intentional about, all right?
That's right.
You're just not going to be able to say, hey, I've known such and such for X amount of years, because, look, I'm going to tell you, you're going to find out a lot of times in your life that a lot of the people that you thought were down with you for years, that when the going gets tough in a lot of different cases, and I mean really, really tough, sometimes you might find yourself out there all alone. But when you actually have that feel-good crew that we're talking about around you, then wow, they'll be there to actually help uplift and, support you.
And that also goes back to yesterday's message that you were talking about with being mindful of the people who are around you.
Exactly. I mean, because you really, really have to. I mean, especially in this day and age, you really have to be mindful of the people around
That's
you, because
right.
And some of you may not want to hear this, but there will come a time where, as the scripture where we hear, a wolf in sheep's clothing, some people will actually try to present themselves as, your best friend, your ace boom coon, your road dog, or however you want to say that. But then, once they seem to get what they want to get from you, I mean, they'll just kind of just cast you away and leave you out there. So we don't want that to happen to you, okay? We don't want you to have any of those type of experience. But what we need to really do is don't be afraid to actually look. And this next thing, don't be afraid to actually experiment with things. And I'm talking yet again in a good way, not giving the devil any place. And I'm talking about as far as like in the realm of improving yourself, okay?
And that's what I was saying at the beginning of the show, so experimenting with different ideas.
Right.
Not being afraid to tweak things, see what's working, what's not working, see what you can do to make whatever you're doing, your day, your website, in your case.
Right.
See what you can do to make them better.
Right. And, and professionally, you would call that a split test, just to go ahead, you try one thing on one side and then you try something else on the other side and you see whichever one gains the most traction, of course, that's what you go with.
That's right.
But what's actually stopping you, okay? Let's roll to the end here. What's actually stopping you from doing your best, from being the best version of who you actually are? I mean, is it a matter of you not willing to relent control? Are you a control freak? Okay. Are you somebody that's just got to have your hand on every single thing that's going on?
Yes.
All right. She says yes. She says yes. And then look, are you someone that just, you don't know how to maintain control in your life? Some people really just don't know how to control the important aspects of their life. And, they just allow what happens on a daily basis to dictate how their lives are actually going to be, okay? Like that ship tossed to and fro.
That's
and we
right.
cannot be that way. And then, of course, if you have a to-do list of things you want to actually accomplish in a given day, you've got to place some kind of value on them, okay? You just can't say, here, I've got this list. I've listened to what, Court and Jennifer actually said. Look, I've accomplished something. Yeah,
I don't know most of this you've said.
Huh?
I said most of this you've said.
Oh, come on. We one flesh, all right? I can feel you talking over there when you're not even saying anything. So, look.
That's the coffee.
That's the coffee? All right. Well, look, no wonder I'm wide awake. I'm feeling the caffeine from it there.
There you go.
See, folks, look, one flesh. Woo, woo, perfect harmony going on right there. But, look. It's about placing value on those things in life that are actually going to improve you, improve your situation, that are important to you, that are actually going to get you along that pathway, that are actually going to see where you are in your moment right now, that's actually going to get you to grow to be, as we keep saying, that positive agent of change that God is calling you to be. And then look, poor rewards. Why are you going to accomplish so much or whatever in life? Why are you going to do all of these great things? Why are you going to do all of these things that actually are benefit to your family? And then, someone says, hey, let's go ahead and celebrate the accomplishment, and you want to go through a drive-through somewhere. Why not go out for a nice dinner? And like we said, hey, it's all about the Joe's Crab Shack, baby. But,
You need to leave Joe's Crab Shack.
I'm not leaving
it.
No, I'm not leaving that alone.
Alexandria does not have a Joe's Crab Shack.
For all of you right out there, hey, getting down, putting that quick plug in. You can be a sponsor over here at the show, Joe. Come on over, put one down over here in the area. We love it. Hey, got to have more of it. But anyway, but look, what's actually stopping you, okay, from being the best possible you? Seriously, what's actually stopping you? I mean, what's holding you back? I mean, do you have like internal conflicts in your life? I mean, are you giving up when you think things aren't actually going your way? I mean, are you just making compromises in your life to please other people and not doing what's necessary, to increase and uplift your life? What are you actually doing, okay? I know, are you actually, the decisions in your life actually might be tough, all right? But are you the only one that's actually making decisions for your life to do better? You have to do this. But look, live your best life now. All right? Decide what you're going to do. Live your best life now. Be in your moment. Capitalize, utilize everything that we've said. And look, when we come back on Monday, I'm going to expect you to testify as far as like how God has kept you in your moment. Take care and God bless you.